Tucked away in the market town of Fakenham in Norfolk lies something extraordinarily rare. A survivor. Before natural gas transformed the nation, this place was very important. And setting off in the car, it's strange to think that hidden within this town is home to one of Britain's rarest industrial sites. It is over 180 years old and originally opened in 1846. Across Britain, thousands of gasworks once existed and nearly all of them vanished. But here in Fakenham, the story remains intact. You could call it a complete industrial time capsule, because what survives here is more than machinery. Welcome to the last remaining complete town gasworks in England and Wales, the Fakenham Museum of Gas and History. But while the machinery and bricks tell part of the story, the real history of places like this live on in the memories of people who worked in them. And although most gasworks have now disappeared, there are still people who remember what it was like to work inside of them. Here at the Fakenham Gas and Local History Museum, those memories remain just as important as the equipment itself.
My name is Michael Robinson. I'm retired now, obviously. Worked for the gas board from 1965 to 2015. It was interesting. It was something I'd never done in my life before, and it was you have to learn quickly. It's a very dangerous place. The smell was horrible. It was like rotten eggs. The camaraderie of people is excellent, but overall that's very friendly. This is a way of life that so many people of my age, and maybe just a slightly younger, can remember this.
For many people today, the idea of manufacturing gas inside of a town centre feels almost unimaginable. But for more than a century, this process powered daily life across Britain. What appears now silent and motionless was once a carefully coordinated working system. I'm now going to see how it used to once run with Nick Ezra.
Gas used to be made by baking coal. So coal would be delivered to a place like this. Towns all over the country had gasworks very much like this. Coal was put in these things, these are called retorts. There's a furnace underneath, it's heating this up to about 650 degrees Celsius. And after a couple of hours you rake out coke, tar's gone up, all sorts of chemicals have gone up, including the gas that we're after, which is basically hydrogen. And it was really efficient. Nothing was wasted.
Behind every furnace and gas valve, there were people who kept the system running. And while the machinery survives, many of the personal stories risk fading with time. I spoke to Dr. Aitchison, chairman of the museum, who remembers one former gaswork employee particularly well. he recalls the realities of a job far tougher than anyone would have thought.
Henry lives only about 4 or 5 miles away, and he came here in the winter of 62, 63, and he packed these ovens, which are 11 foot, that's about 3.5 meters long, and he packed them to within an inch or so of the top. The worst job was cleaning the fire pit, and that was tarry, claggy stuff that stuck to the walls, and there's a huge chiseled thing in there, and he said that was a horrid job.
So, as memories from the industry become increasingly rare, questions about preservation are becoming more urgent. Because this is more than just a collection of old machinery. But why does it need protecting?
I'm Dan May, Engineer Manager at Caden, and I cover our Integrity and Asset Protection department. I think naturally with any historic knowledge and understanding, it's important for places such as this, Fakenham Gasworks Museum and the Institute of Gas Engineers and Managers to retain that knowledge, retain that evidence and artefacts of the past.
For much of the last 2 centuries, industrial sites like these defined the British landscape, but today, many of those places have disappeared. This is what makes the Fakenham Museum of Gas and Local History so unusual.
Well, Fakenham's a very rare and unique surviving example of a gasworks in England, and this is what you would have got in almost all of England's small towns and even large villages. So it provides a link with history, and it's important for people to know where their energy comes from.
And for historians and the public alike, places like this are invaluable.
It is important. There's no other site in the whole country that's got every single bit of the process. So it's very important indeed.
Preserving places clearly matter to the local community, and perhaps Louis as well. Behind these walls survive more than just old equipment and industrial engineering. This place preserves the story of the people who worked here, the communities it powered, and the industry that helped shape modern Britain. And thanks to the work of historians, volunteers and supporters, these stories continue to survive for future generations to explore. Because once places like this are lost, they cannot truly be replaced.